We're listening to that is a health coach and award-winning speaker, Vanessa Sturman. Hi, Vanessa.
Hi there.
Now, I'm sure we've spoken before, and I know you're a vegan, so would you try this lab-grown meat?
On the ethical stance, yes, I definitely would. Animals haven't been harmed. You can argue there's that one animal at the very, very start that millions of other animals can come from, or meat can come from, that's grown in a lab. So, in that sense, on an ethical stance, I might actually try it. Would I necessarily want to eat it all the time? Possibly not, but I think this is a fantastic development for the environment, for animal cruelty. So, I'm so supportive.
Would it be a bit odd, though, to try what's officially meat again for you so long after not having it?
It would possibly. So, I wouldn't say yes or no, would depend how I'm feeling at the time, but would I encourage others to go and eat it and say, this is a fantastic alternative to help our environment? It could possibly be healthier than meat. Got to see more research come out, but this is absolutely wonderful.
Yeah, is the devil in the details? Do you think people want to know exactly how it's grown and what is used to grow it so quickly?
I think because it's new, there's going to be a lot of curiosity. But the fact is that a lot of people don't know huge amounts about the food they eat now. So many people don't know, for example, that only 1 in 10 people aren't getting enough fiber. And that's key for helping us stay a healthy weight, reducing risk of disease. And a lot of people aren't aware of the foods that are going in their body that may not be so helpful for them. And many people probably aren't cutting down on animal products because they actually don't see the process that the animal goes through in reality.
Mm. And I get to. I was actually was I buying it the other day? Sausages. And I started to read the back of the package as to what was going on. I was thinking, I don't know. I put some back thinking, what are all these other things that are in there apart from the meat and the seasoning? Some people say, go to the
Yes.
butcher then and buy it there. But she said the environmental impact of this could be transformational.
Exactly. And we've got to think about our entire planet and how this affects us and future generations. Going vegan is actually the single biggest thing an individual can do for the planet. Now, I am not saying everyone should go vegan. That is not even realistic. And what is incredible is that we don't have to go vegan to have an impact. We need to eat less animal foods, more plant foods, and that is fantastic for our health as well. We know that. So, getting more people to move from the meat they're eating to some of this lab grown meat. But I'm going to be very clear, we do need to cut down on meat. So, I'm not saying, even though I'm supportive of this lab grown meat, eat loads and loads of it. It's important we're getting in more of our beans, lentils, fruits, and veggies. But by doing that and having these shifts in what we're eating, we can have a huge impact on water pollution, deforestation, the land that we're using for agriculture, even thinking about environmentally. We slaughter about 80 billion land animals a year. Huge, huge number. They all, put it crudely, they all poo. And that poo has to go somewhere. Those feces, they destroy our waterways as well. So there's so many incredible impacts for the planet when we look at lab grown meat.
But the moment somebody is rearing these animals, you'd imagine that, some might be against the idea, and the farming community that rears the animals that we're using now for meat will also be affected. Do you see a few bumps in the road yet before this lab-grown meat hits the shelves?
I think there's always going to be bumps in the road. And I think what's really, really important is that nothing's going to happen overnight. So I think people can sometimes think, well, if we change all meat to lab grown meat, this sort of thing will happen. It's going to be a gradual process, supply and demand. There's going to be diversification. And we have seen farms diversify and change. We've seen dairy farms become arable farms. So they've gone from taking milk from cows to growing vegetables and crops, basically. There's all sorts of things that can happen. There's various ways people can be helped. And it's not going to be an overnight process, but it's a very exciting development.
Because some of these farms then move to just actually supplying animals for their cells for lab-grown meat.
I'm not sure how that would work in the sense that we barely need any animals for lab grown meat. Now, I am not completely up on exactly how this happens, so you'll have to get a guest on to talk really in the detail of that sort of thing. But what we want to be eating is more plants, and we do need that food supplied. So there are wonderful ways that the land that is currently being used for animals could be used to just grow more trees to help the planet as well. And this can be a slow process.
And cost is also a factor when people are looking at the foods that they're going to buy. and eat as well. Because I imagine in the short term, at least, it's going to cost more for meat grown in a lab in the supermarkets. But do you think people might be happy to pay a bit extra if it means an animal hasn't died to supply the meat?
Yes, I think some people would. And I think there are some things people are happy to pay more for. But as we get more demand and more supply of this product, I believe the costs are going to go down. But don't forget that some of the cheapest foods are the fruit, the veg, especially frozen, the legumes. So that's our beans, our lentils, our peas, actually the foods that we know are going to help the planet more. And we know this from a study from the University of Oxford, that the cheapest foods also help the planet more. And these tend to be these plant-based whole foods. So if we can get people eating more of those foods, and then maybe they just buy a bit of the lab grown meat so it doesn't affect their wallet too much, that would be a really, really great way to manage things.
And where can we find out more about what you do?
Oh, so if you type in Vanessa Sturman into, well, the search engine or into any social media platform, you'll find videos, health tips, and I'll make clear this is for everyone to have great performance in a healthy way, no matter what your dietary preference. This is about getting everyone to make some shifts that will be wonderful for their health and the planet.
Vanessa, great to speak to you. Thank you. That was health coach and award-winning speaker Vanessa Sturman.